elected or appointed leader. Remember who put you there. Remember who you work for. Don't hold in contempt the same people who provided you with your privileges. You may think your own blessings, you own your own blessings, but in truth, you are only blessed because someone allows it. My name is Kojo Yankson, and I thank you for the grapes. Good morning, Ghanafo.
It's 35 days to election 2020. Welcome to your election headquarters. This is Joy News at 6 with me, Bernice Abubeidulansa. It's an offense to take a ballot box in use. Don't do that. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. It's also on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across Ghana, including Swiss 93.7 FM in Ho and worldwide at myjoyonline.com. Coming up, Opposition NDC accuses Electoral Commission of printing over 150,000 extra ballot papers.
From the ballots I received from the printing houses, as coming from the EC, and observe that there is an excess of over 150,000 ballot papers being printed beyond the extra 5% required.
And NMC warns against attacks on journalists in the coverage of the 2020 election.
Absolutely under no circumstance is anybody allowed to manhandle a journalist or anybody else.
Also, Shraj investigations reveal former PPA boss couldn't justify 15 million cedis that passed through his account.
In business, government advances $200 million to ECG to improve its market offering. That's later on the Joy Business Report.
And it's final day of campaigning in the U.S. ahead of Tuesday's general elections, and candidates are making a final push to get into the White House.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning, and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning.
We've got details shortly. Thanks for your company. The details now. The opposition NDC is accusing the Electoral Commission of printing over 150,000 extra ballot papers, alleging it's meant to help rig next month's elections. At a news conference Sunday, the party accused the EC of deliberately failing to release details of the process in an attempt to rig the December elections. Manuel Cranting has more in the following report.
The main opposition party, the National Democratic Congress, is accusing the Electoral Commission of failing to present to it the ballot statistics for the printing exercise. Professor Joshua Alabi is National Campaign Coordinator of the party.
From the ballots I received from the printing houses, as coming from the EC, we have analyzed the figure from 13 regions and observed that there is an excess of over 150,000 ballot papers being printed beyond the extra 5% required.
Deputy Director of Elections of the party, Daniel Amate Mensah, gives a breakdown of their findings.
The total figure, in addition to the 5%, for Central Region is 45,750. Averagely 2,117 per constituency. Bono East South 11 constituency. The total excess is 47,000. Averagely 4,000 plus per constituency.
But the Director of Elections of the party, Elvis Ifria Ankara, is therefore requesting an immediate explanation from the Electoral Commission as to the reasons for these extra ballot papers that are being printed.
Now we are aware of it. So we want the EC to come and explain to us how come that we have these numbers.
Manuel Cranting with that report. The EC is yet to comment on the claims by the NDC. Now, investigations by the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Shraj, into the account of the sacked CEO of the Public Procurement Authority, Ejenim Boateng-Ejay, has revealed huge amounts of cash totaling 14.8 million cedis passed through his account since he assumed office at the PPA, and that is far in excess of his remuneration and allowances. This figure is a sum of $4 and euro accounts held at two banks. Mr. Ejay was on Friday dismissed by President Akufo-Addo after Shraj ruled that he was unfit to hold public office. The former PPA boss was busted in a Joy News documentary for alleged sale of government contracts. My colleague Joseph Akable joins me in studio with more on this. So, Joseph, Shraj, during its probe, investigated claims of whether or not Mr. Ejenim Boateng-Ejay had improperly used his office for personal gain. But Shraj went a step further to look into his accounts. What more did it find?
Shraj in its report says it can see from records received from the Financial Intelligence Center of the bank accounts of Mr. Ajay that he handled large volumes of cash in excess of his known income as the CEO of the PPA.
How does the former PPA boss respond to this?
When confronted with the evidence of the sheer volume of cash, he indicated that Frosty Ice Natural Mineral Water Limited, a company he owns with his wife, Mercy Ajay, does not have a bank account and that proceeds from the sale of the water is lodged in its account. He also claimed that he receives money from the family businesses and could not name those family businesses. He goes on to say that the records from the Registrar General show that Frosty Ice Natural Mineral Water Limited was incorporated on 29th January 2019. So how would a company, Shraj asks, established in 2019 accumulate so much revenue in 2017 and 2018 before its establishment? Shraj has since referred these findings to the Economic and Organized Crime Office for further investigations.
Thank you, Joseph, for the details. Meanwhile, Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement at CDD, Dr. Kojo Asante, spoke on the probe and he revealed failure in the banking system must be addressed.
I mean, there were transactions from public institutions into a private account. Yeah. How does that even happen? I think if you look at the chain, as I said, suspicious transactions, FIC, there's very clear rules about this. The timing of it, this is also a politically exposed person. Right. So the timing of it, the amounts of money that were dropping in dollars, in CDs, immediately it should flag. So you're asking, what happened? Is it that, somebody ignored it or, the bank didn't do its job? I doubt. The banks are, because the penalties are very severe.
That was Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement at CDD, Dr. Kojo Asante, speaking on Newsfile, and he says the investigations revealed failure in the banking system that must be addressed. Now, the National Media Commission is warning against attacks on journalists with a few weeks to the December polls. Executive Secretary George Sapong says journalists are backed by law to execute their duties in the public space without hindrance from anyone, including security officials. He spoke on Joy News' legal show, The Law, with Samson Ladia Yenene.
Under no circumstance, absolutely under no circumstance, is anybody allowed to manhandle a journalist or anybody else simply because you think that the person has come into an environment or has recorded anything they don't like. The remedy for trespass of any kind does not lie in physical attack.
You heard the Executive Secretary of the National Media Commission, George Sapong. You can get more legal insights on the law every Sunday on the Joy News channel in the afternoon from 2 to 3 p.m. Let's now get to politics. But in the U.S., candidates in tomorrow's elections in the United States are wrapping up their campaign ahead of Tuesday's vote. Democratic candidate Joe Biden is spending the remainder of his campaign in Pennsylvania, a battleground state that has become increasingly significant to himself and President Donald Trump, who held 5 rallies in 5 states on Sunday. Here's a report by my colleague, Justice Beidou.
Hi, is this Alyssa?
Ex-President Barack Obama making a frantic last-minute call to voters in a push for Democratic candidate and his Vice President, Joe Biden.
I am doing phone banking for Joe Biden, and you're one of the...
This has been described as an election of a lifetime for the United States. Close to 100 million people have already cast their ballot even before Election Day.
Election Day is Tuesday, and this is going to be a really close election.
Single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more.
President Donald Trump, certain he has got this. And so too is Joe Biden.
We can do this. Take back our democracy now.
All the polls say Joe Biden and the Democratic Party will win this election. But with lessons from 2016 still fresh in the minds of many, everyone would wait until the last ballot is counted. Justice Beidou, Joy News.
This is your election headquarters, and stay with us for all matters election related. We will bring you coverage of that elections in the U.S. And before I go, Arrive Alive brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority with support from Toyota Ghana Logistics Movers and the Joy News Drive Safe campaign. Tire pressures play an important role in the road holding ability of your vehicle. Stick to the recommended pressures at all times, and that's how to stay safe on the roads. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I'll